Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ryan Dillon. I'm a financial advisor here at Secured Retirement. We are happy you guys are all with us today. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. It was great weather, and boy, sure this summer's been, after we got past April and early May there, boy, this has been one of the best summers I can remember. So I hope you guys are getting outside and enjoying the weather. Today we got a little presentation for you from our office. We're going to be discussing longevities and some of the key steps that we can take in our retirement planning to combat longevity, in a sense. We're all going to be living longer here. The facts aren't lying to us in that sense. But really happy for you guys to be with us today. Again, income planning, key steps to prepare for longevity. And we're going to talk about some things here. First, a little disclaimer here. Our firm does not assume liability. This is subject to change without notice. Information and opinions contained here are just general information only. These are not, does not constitute as an offer to sell or solicit. Anything that we talk about today, it is always good to talk with us here at the office or your financial advisor to get a better understanding of the deeper impacts of some of the topics we discussed today. Life expectancy is on the rise. Why are we talking about this today? We all know someone that is thriving in their 80s and 90s or has reached their 100th birthday. So what do the stats look like, 20, 30 years from now? More than likely, your life expectancy will be increased from that of your family and your family's history. So we don't have a crystal ball here, right? We all would love to. None of us do, but today we're talking to you about three parts here that can help you plan for longevity. Creating income streams from different sources that last as long as you do and optimize Social Security in the process. Have a plan to pay for the skyrocketing costs of healthcare and long-term care, and have a strategy to hedge against inflation. Number one, let's talk income and income streams. The use of income and longevity to help pay, we think of it as we have to pay for the essential expenses. We create your plan first and foremost using day-to-day expenses, non-negotiable costs such as housing, food, utilities, taxes, healthcare. These all need to be covered. These are all essentials to having a wonderful, healthy retirement. One of these sources may include a fixed income annuity. It's a contract with you and the insurance company that you give them an upfront investment, and they establish an income flow for you the rest of your life. Now, there's many type of annuities out there. There's many type of ways to go about this, but it's a nice set amount of income over a period of time that can be either for your or your spouse's lifetime. Generally, these, we have different annuities like immediate income annuities, and lump sum payment that they start paying you out income immediately for the rest of your life. Deferred income annuities that you pay the insurance company up front, let it defer, let it grow for some time, and then it's an income stream for later in life to fill possibly an income gap that you may have at different parts of your long-term retirement. And then there's fixed deferred annuities that just guaranteed a lifetime withdrawal benefit, just fixed amount, guaranteed, that lasts for your life. Each allows you to buy an annuity now that you provide them payments and the rest of your life to supplement retirement income. You're managing longevity risk while we do this. Immediate incomes, like we said, begin immediately. Deferred take a start date in the future where we want to bring in money at a different spot. And the fixed payments continue and don't change regardless of what happens in a financial market. So it's kind of, you've built these assets throughout your accumulation phase. The goal of these assets, what was it? To take income back, right? And how do you do that? And how do you take it off the table of Wall Street, which is like, putting money on a blackjack table sometimes. How do you take that off, protect it, and build guaranteed type income streams that will hit your mailbox every month? The second part of income, what we talk about in retirement, is Social Security. Now, Social Security, again, is the foundational source of income for most people. When you decide to take it, could have a big impact on your retirement. It can be tempting to claim benefits as soon as you're able for Social Security, mostly the age of 62. But that can be a costly move sometimes. If you start taking at 62, and rather than waiting to your full retirement age, you receive a reduced benefit from your full retirement age of 66, 67 for most people. We work with our clients here to explore how the timing of Social Security benefits fits into your plan overall. Again, that's the foundation. Social Security is the foundation. Where do we need fill income gaps? Is what we talked about earlier, is a fixed income annuity the right way to go? And lastly, there are pensions. Now, pensions used to be commonplace in the U.S. For most of our, immediate memory here. But only about 13 million people currently employed have a defined benefit pension plan in the U.S., and that's according to the Pension Benefit Guarantee Corporation. If you're one of those people, you'll want to weigh in the pros and cons of how to turn that pension on. Is it better to lump sum withdraw it? Is there something else better out there? Or look at the pension payout models that your plan gives you. Again, we welcome anybody coming in to talk to us about this. All three of these things are possible factors that can combat the stats that we're seeing here, that everybody's living longer, right? Healthcare is getting better, medicine's getting a little bit better, things of that nature. So we've got to have and look at these pieces, Social Security being the foundation, pension, and then how do we build in guaranteed to pay for those essentials that we have in our retirement. Sorry, got to get my slides working here. The next thing we want to talk about with regards to this is the skyrocketing costs of healthcare and long-term care and retirement. And that's the most important thing we're talking about to our clients right now, is what do we do now to help pay for this? What can you do to build your assets that are going to be there for you when you get to that 85, 90, 95-year-old? The reality today is that a person's healthcare, the average cost of these needs is going to be $469,000 for healthcare costs and long-term care. Now it's a pretty astounding number. It's pretty scary, but once you put a plan in place, it is possible to be ready for that time in your life. A lot of people make the mistake of assuming those healthcare costs that we just talked about and that big number that we've just put on the screen will be covered by Medicare. And there's a couple of big issues with that process. One, you aren't eligible for Medicare until you're 65 years old. Two, most people retire when they're 62 years old. And three, Medicare covers some of your healthcare costs, but certain things like dental, vision, long-term care are not covered. Another slide here. Sorry, a little delay in the slides. So what are some considerations that we need to take in? A person turning 65 today has a 70% chance of needing long-term care at some point. And it doesn't come cheap, as we told you, with that $469,000 figure that you're going to pay over the span of your retirement. Again, the things that Medicare doesn't cover, the average cost of semi-private room in a nursing home is $93,000 per year. The average price of a private room is $105,850,000. Those are one of the what I call a HIT pieces: healthcare, inflation, and taxes, HIT. Those are the three foundation things that can just put an absolute hit on your retirement plan that you want to start building, start talking about as soon as possible to consider that. Again, most medical expenses can be planned for, like we talked about. Monthly premiums, annual expenses, any medications that you know you'll need, and set aside that extra, those what ifs, right? Those things that can take a hit in your plan, those healthcare, those what ifs, the medical emergencies that might be able to come up that don't just absolutely wipe out your assets. Next, the third part of that crystal ball of what we talk about in longevity is having a plan to hedge against inflation. Boy, think back 20 or 30 years ago. Were prices cheaper back then? Of course they were. Where do we think prices are going in the future? Do you think they're going to stay the same? Of course they're not, right? Obviously, this is a hot button topic on the news today. Everywhere you turn is eggs are 25% more, bacon is 25% more, gas prices. My gosh, you know what that's called. We're getting hit very hard right now with inflation. So 20, 30, 40 years from now, boy, we're feeling things could get more and more expensive, as I'm sure you guys do. And how do we build some income streams that hedge against that inflation? How do we build, pockets of money in your assets that can be used to pull off things that you're going to need in the future? So it's like I said, it's a hot topic button right now. Prices are skyrocketing. The people that we have as clients right now on fixed incomes are really, boy, they're feeling that they have to tighten their belt. And that is something that we really don't like to talk about. And we hate when that happens, is when we say, boy, we got to budget a little bit better and tighten our belts here. We want to have things in place that continue to spend securely in retirement the entire time. So inflation impact on retirement, and something we talked about already. Seniors feel the effects on this the most. They're on fixed incomes. They're on tight budgets already. Inflation has been tracking with you for a number of years. We've been living in the 1.5 to 2% type of inflation here the past, 10, 15 years. And now we're spiking up to 6, 7, 8 that we're talking about now. So with that, just even the low inflation area we've been in, seniors have lost 33% of their buying power to inflation in the last 21 years. And that's with, again, the annual adjustments. That's with the COLAs and the cost of living adjustments with Social Security. According to Barron's, in an article, since 2000, a typical senior's expenses have grown by 101.7%. Medicare Part B premiums have increased 226%. That is an astounding number, and we don't see it slowing down anytime soon. Out-of-pocket medical expenses not covered by Medicare, what we talked about, dental, vision, healthcare, have gone up 142%. Social Security cost of living, those COLAs, those cost of living adjustments we talked about, they've only increased 55% since the year 2000. So Social Security, even in our low inflationary times, was not keeping up with the cost of living that is actually happening in the real world. And you feel it a lot more when you're retired, right? Before that, you were earning wages. You were accumulating. And the wage increases, actually, when you were working, were keeping up with inflation at the same time. as you see in the news today, this is one of the first times in periods in a long time ago that wages actually are not keeping up with inflation. So it is a tough time. It's a scary time, and you need a good plan to handle every one of these aspects for you to help you in retirement. And please come in if you feel like these are ringing any bells or you're feeling the tight pitch. Come back in and talk to us, and we'll address those issues as we see fit and what we come together as a mutual agreement. So what you can do to reduce spending, right? What you can do to combat inflation, we can reduce spending. Well, that's not fun, right? And I've talked about that. We want you to spend securely. We want you to be able to handle these market adjustments and things of that nature. But it is a fact that we do have to maybe look at the budget. We maybe have to find out where there's some excess or some waste and trim that from time to time. And then again, create a realistic retirement budget when you're planning for this, or if you're a couple years away. Really look in at what your essentials are, what your basics, what we need to do. Again, we're talking about that fixed income we talked about. Maybe we build something to guarantee those essentials are taken care of. Again, everybody in retirement here, the first couple of years, it's fun. We travel, but we can build budgets for that as well. And we do that by number 3 here, leveraging your investments, building pockets of cash, and we're going to use that for time to time for certain things. But again, dialing in your essentials is just a very common core of income planning. Again, seek out the help of one of our financial advisors here at Secured Retirement. If you're somebody new to one of these market huddles or just joining us for the first time and you have an advisor, if they're not talking to you about income plan, if you don't have a written income plan, if they're not talking to you about reducing your taxes in retirement, which can be one of the bigger hitters of your retirement plan, or if they're not talking about healthcare costs, stop by and come and talk to us. These are things that we look at and on an absolute every meeting basis with our clients. We don't want you guys to be stuck between a rock and a hard place with generating income today. We got things combating against us, right? The interest rates at your bank are, to put it lightly, a joke, right? Bond yields aren't much better. Now they're raising interest rates. Your bank accounts hopefully or it should be generating a little bit much interest, but bonds again are not going to be for the next couple of years with interest rate rising the place you possibly want to be. So you got to consider the impact on inflation with some of these items we use to build your income plans, because with inflation at 8% right now, we're kind of going backwards in cash. We're going backwards in being in bonds. You look at that today, we talk about leveraging investments and investing in the stock market today. Boy, it's a roller coaster. There's a lot of risk, right? So what's the answer? So we welcome you to come in, build a retirement plan with us that meets your specific needs, that we turn your accumulation, we turn your savings, we turn your investments into an income workhorse for you in retirement. So if you're new to us, come in and we'll give you a free retirement income analysis. It's the fastest and safest way we can increase your income that most people overlook, namely some of the things we just talked about. The key is protecting your principal here from the growing risk of Wall Street with the essentials that you need in your income stream, and how to get even more income for your Social Security benefits and more. And again, something our firm really focuses on is that reducing your taxes and coming up with a tax smart retirement plan. So, if there are current clients of ours on here that something came of note and maybe bringing some questions in your head that you might think we need to revisit, give us a call and we'll get you in as soon as we can and sit down with you. And if anybody's new on this, our commitment to working with you is our doors are open. We're ready to talk to anybody. our current clients, where we're always ongoing and working for you. And please let us know after this presentation if there's any questions that you guys might want to address right away. I hope that answered some of your questions here. Longevity, we're all living longer. We need to build income for essentials. We got to optimize our Social Security that we are getting absolutely everything back that we put in retirement. And we must address healthcare concerns. Healthcare rates are going up 14, 15, 16% per year. They're not going anywhere, and we all know that. And we have to put your assets in place to handle those situations longer in your lives. So I hope you've enjoyed today's presentation. Our next event, Monday, July 18th, Surviving and Thriving During Recessions. Another hot button topic now. Are we in a recession? Is it already here, or is it coming in the near future? Again, always feel free to contact us, 952-460-3260 to reserve your tax smart retirement analysis today. Handles income planning, healthcare cost planning. More importantly, it's tax smart income planning. Again, I hope you've enjoyed the summer. I hope you enjoy this presentation. I hope you found some key things to talk about at the dinner table. And it was a pleasure being in front of you today. I'm looking at some possible questions. We do have a chat here and can take some questions if I can't handle them now. We got a question here. Aren't annuities just a transfer of risk and you pay the dearly for that in fees, commissions, and surrender charges? Thanks, Mike, for the question. There are a lot of annuities out there. It is a transfer in a risk in a sense, right? You are taking assets that you possibly have invested in Wall Street. There's ways to build an income plan. You can go to the blackjack table and put it all there and say, boy, I'm hoping for a 21. Or you take some of that risk away and you do look at annuities. There are thousands of annuities, Mike. We usually only use the top insurance companies in the world with our clients. There are some annuities. There's variable annuities. There's fixed annuities. We tend to stay with fixed annuities because, again, if we're planning for something that is essential income we need in your retirement, we are going to use the safest and most practical annuity for you. And they're all built a little bit differently with goals, and we've got to attain those and put those to the right people. There are some commissions on some of them, but there are a lot of annuities that do not charge fees, that you can keep all your principal. And we talk about that. We're very transparent with every piece of that information. So they can fix a lot of problems in retirement planning. But again, they're not for everybody. It is our job to educate you on everything in the financial world that's going to help you attain your goals. That seems like the last questions here. I see some thank you and good to see you, Ryan, and things of that nature. So again, I'll let you guys get back to your summers, and everybody have a happy, healthy rest of the July, and we'll see you next Monday for our next market huddle. Have a great day.